Shawn Cruz at TD Ameritrade is watching the market for us. So happy to have you on the show, Shawn.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think about the market action so far this week, and where do you think we're headed?
It's a little bit of what you expect going into summer. We're seeing volumes back off slightly and just a little bit more of a slow grind higher. I think that's a typical of what you see. It does feel like every year it gets pulled forward 1 week earlier than it did the year before, though.
Summer starts earlier and earlier.
Yes, I think it's really going to take a lot of headlines or some big shock up more on the geopolitical front to really spur volume and really get markets moving one way or another. So that's what I'll be on the lookout for, is just any sort of developments with international trade. And we've got a lot of those deals on the table. We have NAFTA, we have Europe, and we also have China. So I think some news out of one of those three could be a potential driver of volatility and volume.
Which leads me to U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel is actually hiring right now,
Yeah.
firing up a plant.
Yep.
Do you like this stock?
Yeah, not too far from where we're at here in Chicago, down in Granite City, Illinois. They just announced they're going to open a new plant, going to hire 300 workers. I think some analysts and some investors are looking at it as a good sign for the business prospects here in the U.S. Stock moving higher, seeing a lot of activity in the call side, particularly around that 38.5 and 40 call strikes. A lot of activity in there. Those are slightly out of the money, so it looks like that could be a sign that there's a little more speculative upside trade going on.
Twitter going crazy this week. What do you think about that one?
A lot of news out of Twitter. So on one hand, they got added to the S&P 500. I think a lot of people feel that's a pretty bullish sign for the outlook for the company, but they also came out and announced they're going to have to go tap some debt markets, going to have to do $1 billion convertible debt raise. That has a potential to be dilutive to shareholders somewhere down the road if they hit a certain level. So it's interesting to see them reach into the markets using that instrument, but we're still seeing just an overwhelming amount of activity on the call side.
On the call side, they still want this stock to go higher, and then there's Tesla. What would you do with Tesla?
We're seeing activity in the 305 and 310 strikes this week, which is interesting because last week we were on and we were talking about activity at the 305 strike, moved up, it's above that level, and now it looks like they're reaching a little further out on the upside on the call side to the 310.
Have a great trading day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Check out businessfirstam.com to find out where to see our entire show. And don't forget to like, follow, and share Business First AM.